Hi, everyone. My name is Jana, and I have a very special guest today. Um, I'm basically going to let her introduce herself, but I'll give a little bit of an intro. So she is a manager, a entrepreneur, creative director. She wears a lot of different hats. But overall, she's a creative, and so that's what this series is about. So I'm very happy to introduce Paris Cole. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the first question.
Yeah, my name is Paris. My social media name is Paris Cole, but my real name is Paris Hines. So it's nice to meet you. But yeah, I've worn a lot of hats. In music, I've done everything from styling to co-managing artists, and then also a little bit of creative direction. I just love music and all things fashion and art. So here I am.
Love that. Love that. So, going right into the first question, how did you get started with two of those hats that you mentioned, creative direction and management?
Well, it really started from when I was living in DC. I used to work in the DC nightlife scene a little bit, running different bars, restaurants, curating events. And I always just had a knack for people. And I think I just evolved. It was like I was just making really cool relationships and nurturing some of those relationships to the point where, eventually I ended up working in music, thanks to a mentor and a good friend of mine, DJ Alize. He was kind of a pillar in introducing me to the music industry and just also like the beautiful artistic side of music and hip hop. And I think I just kind of went on my musical journey from that point. I met some really good friends in DC that connected me with some artists. I met some other friends that connected me to some other friends that led me to, other relationships and endeavors. And yeah, I think it was just a lot of relationship building, a lot of networking, a lot of, right place, right time, attending shows. I kind of was just hanging out and exploring.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, tell us about Outliers and how was your entrepreneurial journey? How's it been so far?
Yeah, I mean, we're still very small, and I always like to say we're a startup company. I started Outliers Management Company with my good friend Natalie Prosper. She has been in the music business way longer than I have, managing different artists, songwriters, and producers. And I met her about almost 5 or 6 years ago, and our friendship kind of developed into a working relationship. And when I moved to Los Angeles, we just thought it would be really cool to start a female owned management company. So yeah, that was in like 2017, 2018. And yeah, we were building out a roster. We've had a lot of artists come and go and had a really cool experience learning how to, develop artists and, how to make the music industry work financially for us and for the artists and the songwriters. And I think it was just two friends coming together to, try to start something new and create something new. So we're still on our journey and figuring it out, but it was literally a conversation, a thought, a prayer, and let's do this. So yeah.
And I really like that you said that it really started off as like a thought and a prayer, like because when it comes to entrepreneurship, like that's kind of the thing. You just have to just kind of start it. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of the experience that you gain just comes from just starting and like learning as you go. A lot of
Yeah.
things you can read however many books or like, get as much advice, but like till you really put yourself in those shoes and really just push yourself to start, you'll never really know. So I definitely think that's a testament that's very inspiring, especially for any creatives who are watching who want to, you know what I'm saying, like just start whatever business or whatever idea that they may have in mind.
Yeah. I think it was also just, I'm a strong believer in collaboration. I think you're able to also find yourself through collaboration. So, I always looked up to Natalie, and she knew a lot about the business and had a lot of other relationships prior to me even, working with her that, and, with a creative background. And I think it just meshed really well together when we were starting out. So really thankful for that.
Yeah. So going off of that, who have been some of your biggest like creative and fashion influences throughout your career or just personally?
Um, I would say my good friend Rihanna Robertson. She is J. Cole's stylist, but also head of design at Dreamville. And first of all, she's my New York friend, so she has a lot of sauce and swag. But she has always been like kind of a big sister to me. We met on tour when I started styling and managing Ari Lennox, and we just gravitated. Well, I gravitated towards her, but she has a very real academia background. Going to school in New York, studying actual fashion design and the business of it, and traveled a lot. But she has been such an inspiration to me because she lends herself as a stylist and a designer and a creator. So it's been really helpful to have people like that around that, I can learn from and also get opportunities to work with and assist. So yeah, I would say Rihanna is a really cool inspiration, someone else people should research and know about. But yeah, I love also like what Law Roach does with Zendaya. I love how he's evolved her style and her look. Rihanna has a similar kind of team that like really builds their lifestyle brand. So I'm always gravitating towards stylists that do those things.
Yes, I definitely agree. And thank you for putting us on because anybody who's watching should definitely go look those people up.
Yes.
So with that being said, who do you have a dream collaboration? Like who would be someone you really want to collaborate, whether that's like someone that we know of or someone we may not know of?
Yeah, I would say, as I embark on my designing career, I guess like my high level goal and reach would be Target. I think they have some really cool, cost effective brands and design things and home goods. So I always love Target, and I also like buying things from Target. um, but I don't know artist wise. I think it would be cool to maybe like work with Rosalia one day. I think she's a really cool artist. And I love I love her existence. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to the Target comment because I like shopping there too. It's kind of addicting. Um,
Yeah.
but you mentioned being a, Washington, D.C. native. So, what was it like moving from D.C. to L.A. and how was that move and how did it kind of affect your, your creative vision?
I love DC. I still love DC. Like that's like my heart and soul. But I thought, I needed a challenge at the time. I just kind of wanted also a change of scenery, and it was definitely a scary transition. There were times where I didn't know exactly what it was I was doing prior to management and styling. It was just a lot of prayer and faith, honestly. I set goals and tangible goals for myself, but if I'm being honest, I really had no idea what I was getting myself into moving here. But I've grown to love it. I think it's definitely worth the experience if you're looking to try something new. But there's nothing like the East Coast. East Coast energy is just everything. But I love the sunshine in LA, and I love what it has taught me about just being with yourself and taking your time, because it's kind of, we're in the desert.
Right.
um, but it's a cool place to get to know yourself if you have the time and space to. And yeah, it's been good to me. I don't regret it.
That's really cool. I think I've been to LA once, and I definitely agree. I'm not even from DC, but just the difference in being here and being in LA.
Yeah.
I definitely can tell some of those things that you're saying are true, just from being to those different places. And I like what you said about, learning to kind of spend time with yourself because of the area that you're in. I think that that's really important. As far as like even like in your career, like when a lot of that stuff can be a lot, just learning to spend time with yourself can definitely help you through some of those moments.
Yeah.
But lastly, what advice would you give, kind of off of that same note, to those who are interested in this line of work or who are just aspiring creatives, in general?
I think it's important to, find people that inspire you, find people that understand, your skills and talents, and surround yourself with those people because you never know what kind of magic can be made out of collaboration. I also think it's important to kind of give yourself grace too for sometimes not having it figured out. I know I'm super hard on myself, and when I think of times of me not knowing what I was doing when I was pursuing entrepreneurship, that was something that I had to learn, was to kind of pace myself and give myself a little bit of grace to figuring it out. Um, and then yeah, just having a lot of prayer and faith, like always say. Like I think sometimes like we can make all these goals and plans, but the universe kind of open things up for you when you're intentional and when you kind of are doing the work to, pursue whatever it is you're dreaming of or aspiring to be.
That's great, great, great advice. Thank you. What's next? Can we expect to see you, like what can we expect to see you doing in the future? Like plug yourself basically
Ooh, plug
before we hop out
myself.
of here. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I've been taking a social media break, so I haven't been sharing any of my work or a few projects I've worked on recently. I think I'm going to change that. I don't know. I'm in a transition. But I guess I can say it, working in a new position at SoundCloud. So I'm super excited about that. Um, that's just a new journey and musical journey as well. So yeah, I'm just open to, you know, collaborating with SoundCloud.
That's so cool. That's really dope. So yeah, thank you so much, for coming and for giving your time and answering with such lovely answers. I hope that
Yeah, I hope
everybody
they were good.
watching.
I feel like I was rambling at some points.
No, no, it was perfect. It was perfect. I hope everybody watching can gain some insight, from what you had to say today. But thank you again for joining,
Yes.
and I will see all my lovely viewers next time. Thank you for watching.
See ya. Bye.